Hello, I'm Aubrey Shepherd, and this is the 30th day of July 2012. And we have photos, good, bad, and ugly. Let's see. All right, there's the good and beautiful. That little girl was blowing bubbles, and that little boy came over to try to catch one. And they were just having a great time on the square on Saturday morning, before the sun got really high and started making it too hot to enjoy. That's Brenda Black. She's been a reporter and columnist for the Morning News and the Springdale News before that for oh so many years, and so she still writes for the Arkansas Democrat Gazette combination that includes both those pre-mentioned. There's Mr. Malone and family. And he's a young man that's very influential in our county and area. There's another reporter, and that's Ann. I'm so sorry. Let's move forward. I've known her for many years also. Okay, you can see an Obama for President Booth, and you can see some puppies and children. And anyway, that lady's name's Roseanne. I'm sorry, Roseanne, that I'm so senile. Humane Society of the Ozarks, and right next to it, some different creatures. They're Razorback cheerleaders, and of course the dogs went with the Humane Society booth, and these young ladies go with the Razorback, trying to sell tickets and that sort of thing booth. Okay, well, I'm not sure what picture got not shown, but anyhow, now we're looking at a promo for the booth for the Fayetteville Roots Festival coming up in August, and I think you'll enjoy the activity. So it's over about 3 days, I believe. And this lady was sitting in the shade. A lot of people got in the shade on the square on Saturday when it was around 100 degrees. And there's another lady, and I got up so close, invited her to take off her sunglasses. She didn't want to, so you can see the photographer in the mirror glasses. I didn't expect that. And there's the same lady with her husband, and she's back in the shade, and I'm not real close, so it doesn't reflect that way. But notice he had 2 pair of glasses, one for the sun, one for regular. There's our wonderful friend at the square who sells peanuts every week, and you see a lot of people. It's like being at the circus, and these are better peanuts than the ones you get at the circus, I promise. And of course, you can always get a massage down there, and that lady is getting a massage sitting down, and her husband and son are waiting. There's some more friends, and guess what? The photographer is way back in the shade, trying to stay out of the sun. So some of these pictures are going to be the kind that look like the photo's dark. And there's Prue Gallagher. I guess at this point, the longest employee with most tenure at the government channel, and also a volunteer for public access television. She was showing Mayor Jordan some beautiful cards and things, and I think she told him maybe about how her daughter has been ill lately. And boy, every family, it seems like I know, has a problem of serious concern. This lady, I believe her last name is Freeman, and she is seen around town always dressed up, and she had her little boy in costume to go with his mother's outfit, which I'm thinking 1920s or 30s. That could have been from the 40s also, but mostly it just seems way before she was born, but it's a great costume. There are some folks talking about a problem in Mexico of having inappropriate election occurrences in the past, and the names on their shirts and so forth had to do with the organization that protested particularly bad election outcome and the way the election was handled years ago in Mexico. Till next time, this is Aubrey Shepherd asking you to do your part to help keep the water clean, the air pure, and the woods green. See ya. Hello, it's Aubrey Shepherd again on the 30th of July, 2012. And we've got more nature photos, maybe, and fewer people photos. That is something I've shown you when it was in much better shape. It's deteriorating. It's an Indian blanket, native wildflower, prairie plant. But they still look good even after they've dried out. This terrible lack of rain we've had. And that's a tiny spider. Notice not only does the plant have little sticky looking things on it that he's climbing on, but his legs, spider's legs, have little sticky looking points. Okay, that's a hummingbird. Okay, that's, yeah, maybe the worst picture I'm showing today, I hope, simply because the bird's hard to see. But I was zoomed up from 20 feet away trying to, and it was sort of shaded, so, and I can't hold the camera still sometimes out there trying to get between pictures. Anyway, the flowers are basket flowers. You could see why they're also called shaving brush flowers. It's a Native American flower, the American basket flower. Look how the basket is shaped at the bottom. It's different from a thistle, but a lot of people even call it a star thistle. But it doesn't have any of the sticky stuff on the limbs. Beautiful, but it's annual, so you won't see them everywhere. They don't come back every year because they don't come from the roots. This is the Sinanchum labi milk vine, the milkweed climbing version, and that's called a leaf hopper, the tiny insect there. And of course, I cropped that up close to see how, make him look bigger than he is, and the leaves a lot bigger than they are. Back to the basket flower. These pictures were made several days ago, and the basket flowers have since gone through a rainstorm, which was a blessing, but it slapped them around a lot, but there are a lot of buds coming, so the water will probably cause the buds to bloom again. This little critter is out there every year eating some of our tall native plants, and not this particular one, lots of them as a matter of fact, but he wanted to get a close-up made. And there is a native thistle. You can tell a native thistle from a basket flower by the design of the basket that the flower comes out of, but also the back of the leaves of native thistle will be white, while the backs of the leaves of non-native thistle will be green on both sides. Anyway, that's a native thistle, and it's got two fritillaries on it, and they appear to be in love at times there. They didn't stay after I got close enough to use the zoom, not have to use the zoom, then they took off and left. So this is a dragonfly, unusual coloration, and that's the best picture I could get. I had to do that one with a zoom from several feet away. And that is called Illinois bundle flower. Now the little flowers are so tiny it's hard to get a decent photo. But then the seed pods, probably the reason for the name bundle flower, the flowers become a bundle of seed after they start ripening. They turn black. Now, last week we talked about this same area where there was bad runoff. Then we got that little rainstorm, so I went out in the rain and risked my best camera, and guess what? I got pretty good pictures, a lot of them, of this muddy flow coming off of that site, and that's because that silt fence failed and that water rushed under there. And there it is. It's gone down to Martin Luther King and entered the town branch of the West Fork of the White River, and there it is at 11th Street, just roaring through there and nasty as can be. But this is in contrast. You see, this is the flow coming off of World Peace Wetland Prairie, Pinnacle Wet Prairie, and all the land to the north, the west and south, for several blocks. A pretty big flow will come down that tiny creek, but not when the ground's been dry this long, because that prairie out there is absorbing that water as fast as it can. So that was at the same time you saw the creek up. Now, if it kept raining for another day at the same rate, that little stream would be flowing over the street also. Anyway, just a little lesson in things I talk about all the time. Keep the water where it falls. Keep the good natural absorbent soil. Don't cover it with red dirt. Build in a low impact way. Till next time, this is Aubrey Shepherd asking you to do your part to help keep the water clean, air pure, and wood green. See you.